Hello, my name is Paul and I am a volunteer Samaritan at York Branch. Samaritans is probably best known for answering phone calls and listening to people who are going through a tough time. Thanks to the dedication of more than 20,000 volunteers, we're here for anyone, whatever they are going through, day or night, 365 days a year. Our experience tells us that having someone to talk to can really help people cope with their feelings. That's why we are here today, to share our ideas about emotional health and how talking to someone can really help. We hope that this session will give you some useful tools to help you to look after yourselves and each other during tough times. At the end of this session, you will understand more about health and well-being, what can affect our health and well-being, what can help us become more resilient, how talking and listening helps, where and how to access the right support if we need it, who Samaritans are and what we do. We're going to be exploring the following topics in our session today: emotional health, how we can look after our own emotional health and support others, how talking helps, what does it mean to really listen, and a bit about Samaritans. It's normal to experience a range of different feelings at any given time, not all of which will be positive feelings. It's really important that we look after ourselves and each other when we're not feeling so good. If we get to the point where we're struggling to bounce back from negative feelings, it helps to reach out and talk to someone we trust about how we're feeling. We're going to look at a day in the life of a teenager called Sam. See how his mood changes throughout the day. It's normal to experience a range of different feelings at any given time, not all of which will be positive feelings. It's really important that we look after ourselves and each other when we're not feeling so good. If we get to the point where we're struggling to bounce back from negative feelings, it helps to reach out and talk to someone we trust about how we are feeling now. I think we all have a good idea of what our physical health is. We know when we're feeling more or less healthy. Emotional health is very similar. Now we all have emotional health, and lots of different things affect how well we are feeling emotionally. You might hear people using the terms mental health and well-being too. They broadly mean the same thing. I'm going to explain a little more about what we mean by these terms. The World Health Organization defines mental health as a state of well-being in which every individual achieves their potential, copes with the normal stresses of life, works productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to their community. Mental health includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel and act. Like physical health, emotional and mental health is something we all have. It can range across the spectrum from healthy to unwell. It can fluctuate on a daily basis and change over time. Mental and emotional well-being is feeling good, feeling that life is going well, feeling able to get on with our daily lives. It is important to remember that recovery is possible even from severe mental ill health, and that people with a mental ill health diagnosis may be managing their condition well and still experiencing high levels of well-being. Having good emotional health is not the same thing as being happy all the time. It's more about your sense of well-being and your ability to cope with all the different things that life throws at you. Our emotional health impacts the thoughts we have about ourselves and the world around us, including people. The emotions we experience, excitement, jealousy, anger, hopelessness, and the way we feel physically, tiredness, in pain, dizzy, loss of appetite, affects whether or not we feel okay. In turn, our emotional health affects what we do and how we interact with the people and the environment around us. Our emotional health develops as we grow up. It changes as we get older. Imagine that everyone in life carries a backpack. Whenever someone is faced with a stressful situation, a worry or a problem, it can become like a heavy rock that they carry in their backpack. They might be able to keep going with their day-to-day life with just one or two rocks, but when carrying a few more rocks in their backpacks, things might start to feel a little bit uncomfortable. The more stressful situations, problems, worries, or other negative factors they experience, the more rocks are added to their backpack. This can make day-to-day life become really hard. They may struggle to cope with the heavy load and will need support with their rocks. It's really important that we are aware of what we do if we are faced with rocks in the future. There are always things we can do and people we can talk to help us cope with our load. By talking to someone, we're giving them our backpack to hold for a bit and sharing our load. Taking time to talk to someone gives us some relief and means that if it becomes easier for us to carry our load, the load will not feel so heavy after sharing. We all experience things differently, so sometimes what might be a heavy rock to one person is nothing to someone else. That's okay. Equally, just because you're not the one carrying a particular rock, it doesn't make it easier for you to carry it. Finding positive ways of coping can help us manage the rocks in our lives. It's important for us to know what our rocks are and to recognise when the load feels heavy. This is before we feel overwhelmed by our heavy load and it becomes a struggle to get on with our daily lives. There is always something we can do to lighten our load. There are many things that could be going on for any one of us at any point in time. What we would like you to think about is how you know if these things are affecting your well-being and what you can do to stay healthy. On the screen, you will see these are different signs that someone is struggling to cope with life in general. Please take a little time to have a read. There are lots of things we all do on a day-to-day basis that keeps us emotionally healthy. Everyone feels bad at times, but there are lots of different coping strategies that can help us feel better. If these things don't help, reach out for help by talking to someone you trust about how you're feeling. This is particularly important for men. We are renowned for not being open and talking about our feelings and emotions. Everyone feels bad at times, but there are lots of different coping strategies that can help us feel better. If these things don't help, reach out for help by talking to someone you trust about how you're feeling. Relaxation techniques help to reduce anxiety and stress and to clear your mind. Healthy eating a balanced diet that can help you maintain good mood. Exercise, regular exercise can boost your mood. Time to yourself, time to relax, time to reflect on how you feel. Schedule in something you enjoy. If you're struggling with your mental health, we may stop doing the things we used to enjoy and experience a reduced sense of enjoyment, which makes us feel even worse. This stresses the importance of scheduling something you enjoy. Stay connected with other people. If you're struggling with mental health, we can begin to isolate. This is why it is important to stay connected with others. Do something for someone else. Evidence has shown that helping others is actually beneficial for your own mental health. It can help reduce stress, improve your emotional well-being, and even benefit your physical health. Seek professional help. Going to see the school counsellor or going to talk to your GP about what services are available. Talk about the problem, particularly if other things haven't helped. There are lots of things we all do on a day-to-day basis that keeps us emotionally healthy. Everyone feels bad at times. but we can cope by using these different strategies. Talking is a great way to improve our emotional health, especially when something is bothering you. Everyone needs to talk. It is important to talk about your feelings and to understand that having problems are very normal and a part of life. Talking can help us sort through our feelings. Sometimes we don't really know how we feel, so saying it out loud can help to identify the real issues. It also helps to put things into perspective. Sometimes a problem can seem huge, but by talking it through, we can find ways to deal with that problem that we hadn't thought of before. Or sometimes by talking through what appears to be a really big problem, we find that the problem doesn't seem to be terrible after all. It can be a real stress release. Talking also helps us to build resilience, as we find people who we can trust and know that we have people who will support us through difficult times. Having someone else listen to you in a helpful and sympathetic manner, well, that alone can make a big difference. It is normal to slide between feeling okay, good, fine, and sad, bad, and not so good. If you're always feeling down or feeling down more than you're feeling good, it's important to find someone you trust. Finding someone you trust means you will be able to talk to them about anything, and they will give you time to work out what you want to say. Think about a glass of water. If you hold it for 5 minutes, this probably feels okay. But if you are asked to hold it for hours or days, it can become extremely hard work. If you ask someone to hold it for you, it can make a huge difference. Imagine that glass of water represents the problems or feelings you are having, and that by sharing them, it can give you some relief. Listening is a very, very powerful part of communication. It is important that we all take time to listen when someone is talking to us. As I'm talking, you will hopefully be hearing what I'm saying. Hearing and listening are different. When we hear someone, we are simply perceiving sound. It's involuntary and effortless. When we listen, on the other hand, we are intentionally processing the meaning behind someone's words. When we listen to someone, we are making an effort to comprehend someone's feelings and emotions without judgment and interference. When we talk to someone about our feelings, we want them to listen. When we listen to somebody, we give them the opportunity to think through their situation, realize that they are not alone, perhaps think more clearly about what they want to do. There is a difference between hearing and listening. For instance, you hear music on the radio, but do you always listen to the words in the songs? At Samaritans, we use a technique called active listening when we talk to people. Active listening involves asking open questions rather than asking questions which only require a yes or no answer. For example, instead of asking, has this been going on for a long time? We ask, how long has this been going on? This way we encourage people to keep talking as opposed to closing the conversation with a simple yes or no. Another example is to remember to ask, how are things going, instead of, is everything okay? Active listening also involves summarizing. This helps to show that you've listened and understood what is being said. For example, so you're feeling very stressed by your schoolwork, but do you still want to finish school? Another aspect of active listening is repeating back a word or phrase which can encourage people to go on. If someone says, so it's been really difficult recently, you can keep the conversation going by simply repeating, difficult? Active listening also means we clarify. Sometimes people skirt around or gloss over the most difficult things. If someone seems to gloss over an important point, saying, tell me more about, or sounds a difficult area, can you help them clarify the points, not only for you, but for themselves? It sounds obvious, but a yes, go on, or I see can give someone much needed encouragement. It's not just what someone says, but how it's said. If you're talking to someone there and they are fidgeting, texting, or looking at their watch, would you feel they are listening to you? However, if you feel that talking to us may help, you can always talk to Samaritans about whatever is getting to you. We're here